from the rich side of town.
Oh shit.
Episode number 364 of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Chris.
This is Hector.
What's up, man? Damn, it's been forever, ever.
Hell yeah.
How you been, man?
Good. It's been really good. Just getting through this whole pandemic stuff.
Oh man, it's been. I don't think you've recorded an episode with us since the pandemic started.
Yeah, I think the last episode I did with y'all might have been the XFL.
Yes.
When we were all wearing the XFL shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, that's the longest time.
That's half a year, bro.
And we lost that team.
Oh, don't. It's still too soon, man.
Dwayne, please do something.
How's the pandemic been to you since it started? How's your life changed?
Well, no more bars, no more outside restaurants or anything like that. Work-wise, continue working, non-stop essential employee.
También, huh?
So yeah.
Do you work from home or you work on site?
On site.
On site.
On site. So yeah.
Damn.
Other than that, world hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
Other than Walmart actually closing down around 8 in the afternoon. Not 24 hours, no more. 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I haven't gotten used to that either. I remember like in April, the fucking Walmart closed at like 7 in the evening. I was like, the fuck is this shit? It threw me off, man. I still haven't gotten used to it. To the point that now if the sun's not out, I don't go. That's the new rule. Like sunset, you go. That's curfew. That's COVID curfew. You don't go nowhere.
You almost hear that ominous voice. Yeah. Darkness falls. Man, well, that would have been a good lead-in right there.
I know, right?
Evil comes out. There you go.
Dude, so evil. Like finally somebody that doesn't speak Japanese but watches the Japanese wrestling.
Hell yeah, that's why I'm here.
The first thought that's why we're both here. Yeah. The first thought that popped in your mind when Evil beat Night. I'm gonna rewind that. First thought that popped in your mind when Evil joined the Bullet Club.
It was there for a while.
It was there for a while.
The actions of Evil were shown, but the thing that I liked about New Japan when it came up to that was the fact that it was either going to be Evil or Sonata, one of those two, and they just went for the more obvious one because Evil was always the quiet one, and so towards the end part of last year, he started making his moves like not standing for the pose anymore, not giving the salute. And they just finally decided to pull the trigger, which is with this whole thing that's been happening around the world. It was the perfect time for them to try it out, which at the end of the day, it ended up causing some ruckus when it was like, okay, whoa, Naito, it took him a while to get those 2 titles and have redemption. His story arc actually closed over the past, decade.
Always being the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Not being top guy. And
then now you have a subordinate that got tired of all this crap of saying, yeah, you weren't always number 1. And now I'm going to show you who was the actual number 1. For them to go in the New Japan Cup and then flip on LIJ to go to Bullet Club. So, hey, good move, but at the same time, I understand the reasons.
Did you like that they gave away him turning to Bullet Club before the title match instead of during the title match? Because I felt like storyline wise, you could have had a big surprise having Evil out of nowhere turn on Naito on the title match and then showing him going into Bullet Club instead of giving up that surprise advantage by doing it the night before on Okada.
It would have been a good focal point for the story. But at the same time, you needed the opposition of it because if you remember right before everything started, the traditional match around February, the end of spring, is the heavyweight champion faces the light
heavyweight champion,
and
yeah,
that match
that's right.
that match never happened. So for them to put to to have that, you would have had already a subordinate versus the leader. So for them, it's like, okay, you can't. We were gonna do that for that match, have him
And
within
and
the same team.
and Takahashi was showing a little bit of signage too that he was starting. You were thinking Takahashi was the one leaving
Yeah,
back earlier in the year when we were talking about this.
I was thinking about that, but at the same time, when the whole thing happened, and then because given it that when the whole pandemic happened, New Japan actually stopped all their shows
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
And then when they started coming back up, they came back with the New Japan Cup, which was
The finals of the New Japan Cup,
no the whole tournament.
the whole tournament.
The whole tournament was no fans, and but they were still having the whole thing.
Yeah, there were no. The finals of the New Japan Cup was when you started having fans.
Yeah.
and that led into Dominion the next night that had a 33% capacity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in that same story arc, when there was no fans, the way the thing that caught well for me seeing New Japan caught my attention was the story of um, the Takahashi
Mhm.
that his goal was to win that championship that trophy because he wanted that match with Naito, and when he lost to Okada, that's when you started seeing the bleed of the psychological aspect of it. But going back to the whole thing with the surprise the night before instead of the night of, it's story wise traditional. You have to have a good versus bad. So that's the like for them is
You think
that's
so?
the reason.
Wasn't it? If it wasn't last year, it was the year before where we had Okada versus Osprey, and they were in chaos together.
No, but that was the traditional match.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the New Japan Cup.
Got you. Okay.
Because I think overall in the history we haven't had a New Japan Cup winner face the same leader of the faction, and ended up happening this during this crazy time. So
Yeah. So Evil had it for about a cup of coffee, and then he dropped it back to Naito. Was
Yeah.
it worth it?
test subject, not really. They could have built up the story more.
Wait,
But
do you since you're throwing stuff to the wall, if you're New Japan throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks,
Mhm.
would you have preferred that they just pulled the trigger with Takahashi and for a month had Takahashi with the light heavyweight and the heavyweight? Well, basically all the belts because Naito had both the belts.
yeah,
Would you have rather pulled the Takahashi because that's what you were building up before all this thing started crumbling around?
Mhm.
Would you have rather wanted to see Takahashi run with it for a bit?
not really because that deserves an audience.
An actual full audience,
A
not,
full
not
audience,
just
not-
like us in this room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that deserves an audience. It's like you can't put your best card. Well, kind of going into the American side when it comes to WWE, you have to put certain moves out there to not waste your big kind of story arcs because if you have something that's certified that okay, this is gonna get people's attention no matter what, yeah, let's save that for a crowd because you need that pop. And we learned that with Drew McIntyre
Oh, poor Drew.
again.
He's probably been one of the better champions the last 5 years in wrestling in general, with no matter what promotion you're talking about. But for him to have it in the state that the world's in right now, you gotta feel bad for him. You just gotta feel bad.
And New Japan learned that is like, yeah, we're not gonna do that right now. They deserve that story, especially with Takahashi since he came back from a broken neck injury.
Yeah,
So that's why I understand like the evil move.
gotcha. You still wanted to do something, but you didn't want to give everything away.
Yes.
Gotcha. So now we're going into the climax, G1 30th edition of G1 Climax, with Naito as your double champ. You think he wins it?
No.
Okay. I because every year the champ's in it, and I don't think, and even I think last year was the first time that the announcers were actually pushing that Okada had a chance to actually win it, and what would you do if you won it? Because we've never had that. And I agree. I don't think this year's the year that Naito wins it either.
Yeah.
We're about to find out though, because we're about to do this goddamn bracket.
Yes, we got the brackets and everything.
Hector got all these sheets printed out, fucking Office Space style, and we're about to run through these. No preparation whatsoever because we didn't know we were going to do this until about 2 or 3 days ago. So we left our Japan expert in charge of everything. So for once, I'm the Abel and you're the Chris. Night one. What stands out from night one to you?
Night one.
Yeah.
Well, you have these. Well, actually, you were there last year. Last year's main event wasn't it Okada versus Ibushi
Last year.
in Dallas?
No, the main event last year was Okada versus Tanahashi.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Okada Tana.
Oh.
And that's why I made such a big deal about being there because that rivalry's never been outside of Japan. And so for that to be fed to the Americans, it was like that tops it. That's like Rock Austin to me now. I don't know if it would have been 5 years ago because 5 years ago I wasn't as invested in Jay as I am now. So yeah, I hold that in high regard. Right off the bat, dude, Okada versus Ibushi. Yep. I've been flirting with this idea for the last year at least because New Japan went through so much to keep Ibushi from going to WWE.
Yes.
So Ibushi's there for life, basically.
3 years.
Yeah. But in Japan years, that's
Japan
forever.
years, that's a lot.
Japan years, that's a lot. So that first year, I'm like, dude, they're pushing Ibushi in the heavyweight division. They're giving him this belt as a thank you for not leaving us and going to the competition because AJ Styles left, Nakamura left. Then Kenny Omega did his own thing with AEW.
Yep.
And they got a hold of Ibushi. For whatever reason, this year, I think the Jets have cooled off on Ibushi compared to other people on the roster that they might give a shine to.
Yeah.
But the match itself, Okada versus Ibushi, that's probably on the top of my list for night one that I have to watch.
And I think if I remember right, this match was in last year's G1 towards the end part of the year.
Yeah.
Right? Finals, I think it was.
Yeah.
So the finals match of last year was actually pretty good. And I like the way, again, New Japan does their story arc, transcends through years, makes you actually think.
And every match in the fucking tournament counts.
Yes.
Every one of them. I got Ibushi winning.
You got Ibushi?
Yeah. Or Ibishi as you typed out on the first block.
Let's type it fast.
I've got Ibushi winning that one.
I think I agree with that.
Okay, so you're in charge. You've taken down the notes for all these matches. We're gonna math. I'm not gonna be as much as I want to pick with my heart, and I have because I have it written down here on my notes. We're actually gonna pick match by match these winners and mathematically find out who's winning this tournament.
So is it an X is 0? X is a win, 0 is loss. 0 is win, X is loss, and then
you could just put a. Oh fuck, that's a good question. We didn't think this that much through.
Yeah.
Because we still have to worry about ties also.
True. Okay, we'll put it like that. Our legend is 0 X dash. A tie.
You're not gonna have enough space there for all that, huh? Oh no, you do because you can match them up on the fucking on the match deal. Yeah, okay. So while you're figuring all that out, while you're doing the Chris thing, Ishii against Suzuki. Man, I was so butthurt that Suzuki didn't make the tournament last year that my emotions are almost all in on Suzuki this year to win this thing. At least to get to the final so that whoever on the B block wins the whole thing, if it's somebody from the B block, they will have fucking earned it by getting the shit beat out of by Suzuki. Because that finals match is no time limit. So you're not saved by the 30-minute buzzer. You're going to get killed by Minoru like nobody else will.
What was that? I think it was last year's Tagaki and
Takagi and Ishii.
Ishii.
Damn,
Yeah.
that ended up on our match of the year list because
Yes.
it was just like 50 Shades of Grey, and that's all you needed.
Mhm.
And they fucking tore the goddamn. Abel's jaw was on the floor half of that fucking match. He had no idea. Yeah, no. Last year was the coming out party for new guys, new fans of New Japan, or fans that are not completely developed yet. That was the coming out party for Takagi last year. I'm not sure if there's going to be. I think there might be one person that it might be his year, and we'll get to him in a little bit. But what do you think about the Ishii and Suzuki? Who you got?
I got Suzuki. There's a story behind that when it comes to Suzuki. Ishii is more of a. He's already up to that point that he what do they call them? Builds up talent.
Oh, he's a gatekeeper.
He's a gatekeeper. Yeah. In given, Suzuki is also a gatekeeper, but he's one of those like, yes.
You can plug him in the main event if you need to.
Yes.
If you need it.
Yeah. And then going throughout this whole pandemic, you need those type of players around there. So I got Suzuki winning that one.
My heart's telling me Suzuki.
All right.
Ospreay against Yujiro.
Ospreay.
This year might be Ospreay's year. They tested the waters with him and Ibushi opening up Wrestle Kingdom. This past Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And him stepping up to the heavyweight division. I think this is going to be baptism by fire for him to see if he can actually go all the way, or if he's ready to. Because I think, how can I put this politely? The experiment with the shorter guy, with the smaller guy,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying their best to do another Omega. Because Omega wasn't the biggest guy,
Yeah.
but he had an appeal. He had something about him. They tried doing it with White, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work. But I'm thinking, and they don't want to blow their load with Ibushi yet. They still want to milk that.
Yeah.
I think, because I think that Ibushi would be a safe bet. I think they would be willing to try Ospreay in the main event scene.
Well, Ospreay's already gotten a taste of that when he won the Never Open Weight.
Yeah.
So Ospreay's got that one.
How about? I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I don't know what it is. Help me out here. Why should I care about Tai Chi?
It's a weird thing with him. He's at one point he's building up as being like the playboy of New Japan when it comes to like the whole gimmick. But at the same time, he's like, how can I put this? Kind of like a Iron Man. It's like, yeah, I'm a playboy, but get me pissed off, I'll bring out the hard stuff. And that's what Tai Chi is building up his story. He's had a story for the past 2 years when they started getting behind him. And right now, the last feud he had was in the junior division that I remember was against it was damn Takahashi, and it was the whole story was based on the history of them as juniors and showing of the black trunks and the Boston Crab of, yeah, you're still a junior, kind of coming up, you're gonna be below. And now his feud's been mostly built around Okada, so that would be one of your matches to see.
Tai Chi and Okada.
Tai Chi and Okada.
We'll get there. It's on this list somewhere.
Yeah.
But for now, I got Cobb winning.
Oh, hell yeah. Muscle.
Yeah. We mentioned both the guys' names earlier. Let's get to it. Jay White, Abel's favorite, against Shingo Takagi. What do you think?
I want Takagi to go actually undefeated this year. I really want that because New Japan was like, here, Do it. Take it.
for the juniors.
But
'Cause
he
was
did it
undefeated
with
in
the juniors.
Yeah, until the final round.
So it's like, okay, he did that in the juniors.
Now
Last
he in
year's
the big boys.
last year's G1 was okay. He almost got there, but he needed some points that at the end never ended up happening. But can you imagine if he goes close to undefeated, the same streak, even if it's the same thing he did in the juniors, do it in the G1, man.
There's beef in there, dude.
Hell
You
yeah.
got Ishii, Suzuki, and Cobb that fucking Takagi's gonna have to face in this tournament. So this A block this year is beefy. It's meaty. I think I have all of Takagi's. I think I have all three of those opponents that I just mentioned for Takagi on my watch list. On my watch list so far for the G1 because I'm that's gonna just like Osprey's the test for the heavyweight division. I think Shingo's the test to see if he can take the whooping.
Oh hell yeah.
So I've got Shingo. I've got Shingo beating. I've got Shingo beating Jay White all day.
Jay White.
Yeah.
All right. So far, I'm gonna put that here. Just circle the name.
We've agreed on everything so far.
On night one.
Night one. A block.
A block.
B block. Talk to me about Naito versus Tanahashi.
You know, in the beginning of the show, you said about Okada and Tanahashi,
Mm-hmm.
the history behind that. The story behind Tanahashi and Naito is not that far different from theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Throughout the past decade, Naito was coming up as the next ace. His whole redemption story was becoming the next ace. It never came to fruition. I believe he won the title one time away from Tanahashi, and that's when New Japan was going through the shits.
Was that? I'm not sure if I have my opponents mixed up, but was that the year when Naito had taken the belt off with Tanahashi, where the rematch was at Wrestle Kingdom, and the fans voted Shinsuke with the Intercontinental title defense as the main event above Naito and Tana?
Yeah. So you have that, and the whole story with them is, okay, I was supposed to be the guy to pick up after you, and one, you never gave me the endorsement, and two, you gave it to Okada.
And three, you're still here.
Yes. So the story there is, okay, I'm going to prove it through the G1, and I'm the one holding the titles now. So
both of them.
So now, and this story is, Naito's telling them, I got them. Tanahashi is still going into that phase now of, do I still have it?
Oh yeah, he
Because
I think that payoff we would have gotten it around this time if it weren't for A, the pandemic, B, the Olympics. Because if it weren't for the Olympics being in Tokyo, we would have had the G1 already, coronavirus or not.
Yeah.
But since the Olympics were supposed to happen, the Climax now in October, and it'll be happening next year in October also because as of now everything got pushed back a year. So I'm on the same boat with you. I think I've got, not to go too far in this bracketing, but I think this year I've got Tanahashi and Okada both breaking even. This is going to be the year that they're going to be putting some people over.
Yeah.
And I've got Naito winning that one. Naito against Tana. I've got Naito winning.
I'll join you on that one. I got Naito winning that one.
The second year for Kenta in this tournament. I'm hoping he does better this time around. I like Goto, but I'm not invested in Goto.
Goto he was a gatekeeper, and his whole story the past couple of years was trying to get to that platform of being the top person. But again, New Japan has never pushed into that.
He's missing something that they don't have the faith in him to at least give him not the evil treatment. We'll give you a month or two to see how it goes.
Yes.
That's another guy where in this kind of current state of pro wrestling, I honestly think he should have gotten the shot before Evil did. But
I agree with that.
Ingo Bernales right now is over as fuck, and Goto is he's just there.
He's like Yano.
Yeah.
You don't even know if he's in there or not when it comes to being in chaos.
Yeah.
But For that one, I got Kenta winning.
I got Kenta winning that too. Yoshihashi against the Juice. Yoshihashi's another guy that I need somebody to like convince me to give him a shot. He came back a couple of years ago to some fanfare. I hadn't been invested in New Japan enough to understand why he deserved that kind of fanfare, and I just see him, and I need something. Where are you at with him?
Meh. Honestly, he's stale water for me. There hasn't been any buildup to anything with him. He's like, again, he's part of chaos, but most of the times you always see him with the New Japan crew, and it's more of a plug and play for him.
Is there anything that helps him stand out against the competition? Does he have a hand gesture? Does he have a catchphrase? Does he have a look? Does he have a presence? Does he have a mannerism that's exclusive to him that sets him apart from everybody else in the line?
No. From what I've seen, there's nothing that makes him stand out. Back then, he used to come out with a staff. I don't even know if he comes out with a staff anymore.
A bow staff, not like a group of people. Okay.
No. Can you imagine?
5 boring people coming out at the same time. It's like, I give up. I'm done. I'm not going to fight you. You're going to bore me to death. I want to live. I've got, who is this?
Robinson.
Juice, man. I think Juice is about 1.5 years or 2 years away from being. I take that back. I've mentioned on this podcast before how AEW's got a core of like 6 good young guys that could probably carry that company for the next 10 years. Just like most of the cruiserweights from WCW did, to where 3 or 4 years from there, from 96, 97, if booking would have gave them a chance, WCW might still be here. Guerrero, Benoit, Jericho, Mysterio. Same thing with AEW with Orange Cassidy and Ricky Starks and fucking Jungle Boy and MJF. You've got guys in there like fucking Jay White. As much as people don't like Jay White, he got a reaction. He got a big negative reaction, but he got a fucking reaction. Jay White, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata. He's like the oldest of that tier, but there's a group of guys that are very old, and then there are a group of guys that are very young, and Sonata's like the border that keeps them both together. And Takahashi too. There's some core guys in New Japan, and Juice is on that list too. Where if he's like 1 or 2 years away from being like one of the next 4 pillars, because as young as Okada is, he's been around for a long fucking time.
Yes.
And Tanahashi's been the ace for a long fucking time. So there's already eventually 2 spots, and not on the same level, but we already retired Jushin Thunder Liger. So that's another not maybe the 4th pillar, but like the pillar in the middle of the 4 that helps in case of an emergency. That it's uneven. So there's spots there that are prime for the taking, and I think Robinson, since he's got the American audience appeal too. There's American fans that like Juice, and for whatever fucking reason, the girls in Japan are all about the Juice. So you could use that to your advantage. New Japan could use that to their advantage. I've got Juice winning this match against Yoshihashi.
I got the same thing.
I don't want to go through this bracket like my notes and just pick the guys I like over the guys I don't, because Yoshi's gonna beat some people. Fucking White's gonna beat some people. Goto's gonna beat some people. That's why I wanted to go through this whole list and stuff. Once we get a couple of nights on each block, we'll go a lot quicker, because I doubt people are gonna want to watch 6 hours of us fucking lottery drafting the whole fucking season of fucking G1 Climax.
Even though it'd probably be more entertaining than the WWE draft, but still.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started. We're trying to avoid those 2 letters tonight. But for now, the first couple of nights, I'm picking fucking favorites, dude. And Robinson's on that list too. What favorite that I don't know why it's my favorite, but there always needs to be a bit of levity.
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this. Yano, man. Yano's got a fucking gimmick that'll go over in America.
Buy his DVD.
Yeah. He would be like the perfect manager for The Miz.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck! With a whole Hollywood vibe and Yano bootlegging his shit, dude. That Yano's got some cross pollination with some of the audiences. Sonata's beating the shit out of him. I got Sonata winning this match against Yano, but Yano's gonna be one of those guys like fucking last year where he tied Moxley's legs up with tape and wound up. How the fuck do you beat John Moxley? Yano did. Take notes from the guy that you would think can't even like tie his own shoes. He beat Moxley.
Funny thing, which in this year's New Japan Cup, Hiromu
There was a
beat
match
him
that
like that. Hiromu
in
pushed
the
him
elevator. He
in
put him in the elevator,
yeah.
sucked him down, and he beat him for the 20 count. I saw that. I laughed for a good 20 minutes. I watched that clip like 6 times. It was fucking hilarious. And again, the really good part about wrestling balances with the very bad part about wrestling right now is that would have gotten fucking a lot more coverage if it was in front of those 2,000 people that fill up that little Ryoku Stadium, Ryoku Arena. That would have been so fucking hilarious. Just hearing the reaction from everybody and shit, that would have been fucking nuts. As much as I know, all these events are happening in front of like
capacity fans.
Yeah, they're back to somewhat normal, right?
Yeah.
So we're back into it. That's the other reason why I wanted to go into this, because for anybody that's watching AEW, NXT, WWE, NWA, whatever backstage videos that they're doing instead of having actual weekly shows, this is the closest thing to normalcy you're gonna get right now with New Japan, because it's been consistent and it's been fucking good.
Yes.
And wrestling fans that dip their toes in New Japan because of the G1, they rarely get disappointed. So this is the part. This is the opportunity for them to really hook some fans. And the Friday show that they have on the network now.
That's the New Japan Cup US, I think.
Yeah.
And this one is
Kenta won a title shot against Moxley.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I was thinking, because they were hyping the finals of the Summer Struggle in the baseball field, and with Moxley not being able to wrestle in the US because of his contract with AEW, I figured Kenta and Moxley would have been on that show, and it wasn't. So I'm wondering when we're getting that match, because I want to see Kenta versus Moxley.
Well, here's the thing. If you took notice, when the whole New Japan Cup happened, there was not a lot of the big players there.
Mm-mm.
Meaning Kenta, White, all the one like Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah.
And they're usually in those type of tournaments, and that's because they were all stateside. Now you're starting to see White, Kenta, Ospreay.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that traveling is starting to open up.
At least for exam.
Yes.
Yeah. They won't let us there. I want to go. They won't. And I have the time off, but I travel. They won't let me out. I'll be quarantined for 2 weeks before I do anything. Mm-hmm. And that's if they even let me in. They could just stick me on a plane back, and that's on me. So they probably have that exempt because of the whole sports entertainment sport aspect of it.
So when it comes to the time frame of the defending of the U.S. title, I think we might see it close to the finals of the G1. That gives the stateside to open up more of those borders.
Mm-hmm. Because there's no way in hell Moxley's going to defend the U.S. title for New Japan on U.S. soil, even if whether he's AEW champion or not. It's not happening. Which kind of sucks that you can't defend your U.S. title on fucking America. Which I would see Dwight, not that I'm shoehorning it, I would see Kenta taking the belt off of him just so that Kenta can come around. Because he has an American presence also. He's got an established history here in America. So with him at the belt. Tonga Loa was doing fucking good, dude. He in that tournament that they did here for the US show. I was curious to see if they would have pull the trigger with him. And I kind of feel like the other company was watching, because now we have Jey Uso wrestling, because he has the experience. He's had great matches in tag matches, but he has great tag matches. He's got a catchphrase down. He even edited the catchphrase so that the fans can fill in the rest, assuming there would be fans there. So he's got enough of the pieces where you can pull an evil if you want. Not that they're fucking gonna, because it's goddamn Roman. Again, we try not to talk about this, but we're here. Yes. But where did they get that idea from? It's from because they're starting to push the New Japan Samoans, the singles guys, and they both can run it. One's got the promo chops, the other one's I think is the better in-ring worker. But you're always gonna have that fucking Matt versus Jeff or Sean versus Killer when he was a kid. You're always gonna have that separate Marty.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have that separation where one tag team guy is good at one aspect, the other one is better at another aspect. So when you put them together, they're a good team. When you split them up, you weigh which one's worth more at whatever time it is. Because Jeff is obviously worth more to WWE. Yet Matt was the one making all the noise with the broken gimmick and the fucking drones and the compound, and then Brother Nero. And so it just depends what you value more and what more you can get out of. So the whole Jay thing could work. The Tongaloa, I was hoping he would have gotten a run, but I'm happy with Kenta getting that title shot. They're doing another tournament right now on that Friday show, but once that tournament, the initial tournament for the U.S. title match happened, that's when I stopped watching. Not out of anything negative, just that there's so much fucking hours in the day and so much fucking wrestling on television, and I forget, because wrestling on Friday nights in general, whether it's good or not, half the time I'm not around. So, but I'm hoping that happens soon, especially for New Japan, that Kenta and Moxley go at it. So, especially we're getting Moxley rematch with Lance Archer. Lance Archer. We had that at Wrestle Kingdom earlier, and that was pretty fun. Left me wanting more. Took a while, and now we're getting it for AEW in a couple of weeks. Did we finish night 2 already?
Nope, we got one.
Now, finally. How far do you think Evil's going to go in this? He's got Zack Sabre Jr. in this first match on the first night for the B-Block.
Evil is going to get to the finals, honestly. I feel that the whole betrayal and the story, because now you have that question. You have the leader of Bullet Club in there. You have the subordinate leader, which is Kenta, that's been getting more attention than the actual leader. And then you have Evil, who technically is
who should be number one because he had at one point both the fucking titles that nobody else in the Bullet Club's got.
But again, you consider him as the replacement leader because the main leader wasn't there, wasn't able to be there. So now you have that compelling story of Evil has to prove himself again. Now it's a different group.
On the spot, rate them. 1, 2, 3. Who's the leader? Who's number 2? Who's number 3 in Bullet Club right now?
Oh man. Story wise, as much as Abel hates him, I got Jay White as the one.
He's still the asshole.
Yeah. I think I rate them White, Kenta, Evil.
Ooh. I have to give Evil some kind of rub for actually holding both the belts, even if it was for a month, but recently. So I have Jay White number 1, Evil number 2, Kenta number 3. If Evil wins the G1 or even makes it to the finals over Jay, then that switches. Then I've got Evil as the leader. But you can do that dissension within. Like, so many people have tried to beat the Bullet Club, and the Bullet Club always raise their hand.
Yeah.
Whether it's Finn, whether it's AJ, whether it's Kenny, even now with Jay White, and now with Evil. But with those 3 guys competing on who's head dick and who the other 2 are going to just be the nuts in the sack, you can actually do the betrayal from within and shit. Maybe even have one of the Tongans come up from the rubble.
Oh, that's gonna be Tamatanga there.
Yeah.
Because again, coming out with this whole pandemic that happened, certain people got released from the stateside company, and those 2 certain people are an impact. And from what I news with
their contracts are open.
Yes,
they have the flexibility to play with their friends in Japan.
It just so happened that they're really good friends with Rocky Romero, which he's one of those backstage kind of hands.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, again, you had Machine Gun already making those videos that he's going back to New Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And coming back as he is one of the original founding members, along with Tamatanga and Battle of Fale.
Yeah, Fale. Yeah.
So him coming back, you might see him come back and be like, "Nah, forget y'all. I'm the head dick here." Because here's the thing. It's Machine Gun has actually gone to the finals in G1
Twice.
before. Yeah,
Twice. He's a. The WWE had an awesome opportunity to turn Gallows and Anderson into the new version of Shawn Michaels and Diesel, because Anderson has the in-ring knowledge to actually be a single star,
Yep.
and have Gallows as the muscle. You know, it sucks that he's stuck in that muscle role because he did it with CM Punk, but he did a damn good job at it.
And he did it as Festus.
And he did it as Festus. But he's good at it. So there's nothing wrong with complimenting a guy in a role that he's good at. You know, I honestly, it ain't fucking rockets anytime soon, if ever. But that damn dude, there's so much that you could do with the Bullet Club right now, and now that we're getting fans back, it's gonna be it's something to keep an eye on.
Hell yeah.
How far is Sabre going in this? What are we doing with Sabre here? Is New Japan going to test him out, or has he already gone as far as he's going to go?
I think
Or do you see him going any farther?
I think he's gonna be a placeholder, and they're gonna try to transition him into the junior. Because you gotta remember, if I remember right, the last 2 years, his statements were winning the New Japan Cup, and most of his victories were against Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
Liger is gone.
He had that rivalry with Ishii, tapped out Ishii a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then he recently, last year, had the rivalry with Tanahashi, trying to end Tanahashi's career. And then he came back and avenged it. And then ever since then, Kings of Pro Wrestling, this tournament that happened in the beginning of the year, Sabre hasn't really done much. It feels like New Japan just has Sabre there so that he could promote Rev Pro, so that New Japan will have a presence
in Europe,
in the UK, but they don't want to do anything specifically New Japan with him. Like, you can't give him the light heavyweight title. You don't want to feed him to, maybe, as crazy as it sounds, see if he can hang up with Suzuki or with Cobb or with fucking Takagi, and see if maybe you put him as one of the 4 pillars of your next generation 5-6 years down the line.
Honestly, I think that they should do that with him, because again, you already lost the main pillar for the light heavyweight, and he fits the criteria. Other than that, you only see him going either the trios, the 6-man, or the never. That's it. Other than that, I won't see. We'll never end up seeing Zack Sabre Jr. winning
a New Japan title.
Yes.
Yeah. Because even when Sabre first was around, he had to deal with fucking Marty Scurll and Kushida and Omega towards the end of his light heavyweight era. He never really had a run. Mm-hmm. And then now you got Takahashi, you got fucking what's the guy from Bullet Club?
Forgot his name.
Ishimori. Taiji Ishimori. There's new guys that are funneling through the meat grinder in the light heavyweight, and it's still like, where's Saber's shot?
And that's mostly like new lines, I think.
Yeah. Now. And then now you got new lines coming up from the California dojo, and they're coming up with fucking with the wrestler training them. So
what's it? God.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
The dude that was gonna feud with Kenta. Yeah.
Starts with the S.
Katsuyori Shibata. They're being trained by Shibata, so these aren't fucking slouches. These next kids, if you sleep on them, they'll snatch your shit before you even see them coming. So with Shibata training them, yeah. So at some point, New Japan's got to pull the trigger with Sabre, or just stick him in Britain. Yeah. Maybe call him up for Britain shows and keep him Britain only. But if you're gonna put all this effort in Japan, especially if he still has fucking Michinoku hyping him up, it works. He's a viable heel. He has good matches. Looks be damned, you know. But if you're not gonna do something with him, then make space for some of the new guys in there that are in your dojo.
Yeah.
You know, I think this year might be the year where whether it's on New Japan or whether it's on Zack Sabre to pull out another missing piece or whatever's lacking that others see in him that's keeping him from the next level in New Japan. This has to be the year for him to either shit or get off the pot.
Can you imagine if we get to see a shoot fight kind of style with Zack Sabre Jr. and Suzuki?
God damn.
Just like we have that 50 Shades of Grey match,
Yeah.
Takagi and Ishii. You have the actual mat wrestling between those two.
Even if, and knowing Minoru's history, even if Suzuki beats the ever loving fuck out of Sabre, he'll put him over. In that beatdown, he'll put Sabre over.
You'll get
just
that.
a couple of reactions of, this guy's not dead yet. Okay, I can't kill him like that. You'll start winning him over. But I would love to see fucking Suzuki and fucking Sabre, dude. What they did with Takagi plowing him through all the fucking juniors last year, I want to see that in the next like 9 or 12 months with fucking Sabre. Like have Sabre go Suzuki, have Sabre do Cobb, have Sabre do Takagi, have Sabre do Ishii. Like, well, we've seen Ishii.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen much of Sabre versus not because I said earlier I'm not that attracted to him, but oh damn, the guy Hiroki Goto. Have we had Sabre versus Goto?
Yes. G1 Climax, Kenny Omega series.
Got you.
They had a couple of they had a match there. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually entertaining.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch that. That's gonna happen a lot through this fucking tournament because some of these shows are happening like consecutive days. So there's very little breaks in between if you're not watching it live in the morning.
Yes.
Or when you get home from work. So it'll have to be like a Saturday or Sunday that I have nothing planned. Where it's like, oh, I can catch up on stuff that are on like my list or stuff that you would recommend to me or our listeners. We always have a little subculture of New Japan people that always show up when the New Japan stuff comes around, making suggestions on what we should be watching. Because fucking, what is it, 5 matches a day, 19 days? Dude, you're looking at fucking almost 100, like 90-something matches.
Yeah.
Before the finals.
And of course, some of them are hit or miss, but some of them, man.
Some of them are fucking grand slams.
Yeah.
Dude. For the strikeouts you get some grand slams on here too.
So who do you got? Zack Sabre Jr. or Evil?
Oh, this opening round's got to be Evil. Evil's got to come out of the gate swinging these first couple of nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm
You're
actually
doing
going.
ZSJ?
I'm actually going Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
You got black, right?
We've matched them all so far,
yeah.
so you can pick whatever. No, you wanted red.
Yeah.
I got black.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've kind of made our piece over most of the people in this tournament, the rest of this bracket, we're gonna start flying through some of this. The third night, hands down, I want to see Ishii versus Ospreay.
Didn't we see it? Okay, this is gonna remind me of Ospreay Cobb at
a Supercard.
At Supercard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got Ospreay winning that.
You got Ospreay?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go against you on that one. I got Ishii. I know deep down inside I know Ospreay's gonna win it because he has the story arc going behind him. But I don't mind going again with Ishii on that.
How about, you mentioned his name, how about Cobb against Takagi? Ooh.
I got Shingo on that one.
You got Shingo?
I got Shingo.
I'll run with you. I got Shingo there. I made this list with Abel in mind, assuming he was going to be with us. Most of the times that Jay White is on this list is because Abel would like to see White get his ass kicked by his opponent and Ibushi. So Ibushi against Jay White.
Rematch.
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep. I've got White winning it.
And I agree with that.
Yeah. I think the first couple of the nights, Bullet Club's gonna dominate. And then the pieces are gonna start falling as the tournament goes on. One guy loses when another guy wins, and then it's gonna. I think the Bullet Clubs might be tying out in some during some
Okay,
of these.
remind me of this one. G1 last year, the winner from G1 last year was Ibushi.
Yeah,
The final match was it Ibushi Okada?
it was Ibushi versus Okada, and
The
then
finals, right?
for the block or for the actual final.
For the actual finals, because I know they
I think the actual final was Ibushi and Tanahashi. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking back and I'm trying.
My memory's fuzzy, bro. This G1 last year's G1's over a year ago, and I drank a fucking lot since then.
I think if I remember right, there was already a story going in between Ibushi and White before the Wrestle Kingdom. So, and I'm thinking Ibushi won that one. The first, so there's got to be a rubber match there.
Yeah.
I don't know if White won that one, then Ibushi won Wrestle Kingdom, and now you have the rubber match between them. So there's a story there between them two. But I actually got what I agree with you on that one. I got White winning on that one.
White winning. Taichi against Suzuki.
So Borner versus Leader.
That's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an example that we mentioned earlier where Taichi's not gonna be an easy roach to stomp. Suzuki's gonna beat him, but you're gonna see a sign of respect after that. That Suzuki normally doesn't give, even to his own people.
So you got Suzuki?
I've got Suzuki winning that.
I got Taichi.
You got Taichi,
I got Taichi. Cheating.
Yujiro against Kazuchika Okada.
I got Okada.
I got Okada too. That's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Night 4, B block. Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr.
I got Zack Sabre Jr.
So do I. It's funny because this happens every G1 where the heavyweight champion that's in the tournament, he'll go almost flawless, but there's one or two guys that will beat him, and that'll give you the rivalry that'll during Kings of Pro Wrestling and stuff in the fall and winter leading up to your eventual Wrestle Kingdom main event. I could see fucking I can see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Naito rematching somewhere in the fall, maybe Kings of Pro Wrestling, to knock that out, to get the rust off before Naito goes main events. So I've got Zack Sabre winning that too. Dude, for whatever reason, I'm dying to see Juice Robinson and Kenta. I might actually be at it, and I don't know where this is coming from because we haven't done this so far. I might be at a 10 for that fucking match because they have some their styles aren't completely that opposite, but they're not completely there's little subtleties here and there that they can pull something out together. And
well, they have the same type of mentality because they were both in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So
they have something to prove.
Yeah.
Without complaining about being in the system and getting kicked out, they have something to prove. I agree. I'm at a 10 for that. I might squeak Robinson out. I think Juice takes it.
You got Juice?
Yeah.
I got Juice on that one too.
Yeah.
Again, just like you stated before, it's one of those matches that, okay, you got somebody that's a favorite that you know might win. They might lose certain ones. I feel like Juice is going to get this one on Kenta.
Goto against Sanada.
I got Sanada winning that one.
Same. Eventually, Goto's got to win a couple. I don't know where I'm going to put those in, but I've got Sanada almost running the table. Almost.
I got Sanada going to the final. Not to the final of the block.
Final of the block. I've got some options as far as who are the finals in my block, and I think Sanada's in that mix.
Tanahashi Yano.
Oh my god! It's that time of the Ace's career where he lets his guard down to some kind of butt fuckery. I've got Yano pulling one out.
I got that one too.
Yano was like the Texans in the early years, where the Texans lose to like some dumbass teams, but they'll beat the Colts, the Patriots,
Those
whatever,
big name
the
teams,
big
like,
names,
oh, they're
they'll
gonna
knock them out on prime time. But we can't even score a touchdown against the Bucks for whatever fucking reason. Yano's gonna knock out some big heads this year, and you're not gonna see it coming. And he needs some wins on the board. So I've got Yano actually taking one out on Tanahashi.
Yoshihashi and Evil.
Evil.
Evil? I got Evil
Yeah.
winning now, too.
Night 5, A block. Man. Let's start with the obvious, the rematch from the finals. Ospreay against Takagi.
Ooh,
If
man.
I'm not mistaken, I think that was our match of the year last year.
Yes.
Yeah, and now we're getting it in the G1. 2 matches in, and these two are going to face each other. I've got Takagi with the come up.
I got that one,
I got
too.
Takagi with the come up.
That's redemption right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He might not. If Takagi doesn't win the G1, he at least has that win over Ospreay, and they can keep that going. So I've got that going. Here's a stunner. I've got Jeff Cobb beating Minoru Suzuki.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I gotta think about that one.
Oh, I'm gonna go balls out. I'm gonna make a bold ass prediction. There is not gonna be any time limit draws.
Oh, they're all gonna be submission or
We're not gonna have any halves, one pointers this year. It's gonna be pinfalls or submissions. There's not gonna be 30-minute. They go the whole 30 minutes. I doubt it. I read that list when you first said it to me, and I'm like, all of these can go can get a winner before 30.
I think I gotta give. I gotta
Cobb's got to knock out some heavy hitter, and I've got Cobb knocking out Suzuki.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good point to make. I agree with you on that one. Though.
I've got Ishii beating Ibushi. Ooh.
I agree with you on that one because I think their story, Ibushi has always had the upper hand on him.
What are you thinking?
I got Taichi. Yeah, I got Taichi winning that.
I think I got Taichi winning that too. Yeah, I think I got Taichi winning that too. All right. So now we're night 6. Yano versus Evil.
I got Yano winning.
I got Yano too. Yeah, I've got Yano too. I've got Sonata over Yoshihashi.
On which one? Oh, Sonata?
Yeah, I got Sonata over Yoshihashi.
I agree with that one. Yoshihashi's gonna be some weird. Again, he's gonna get some good wins, but it's gonna be weird for which ones.
I'm gonna stick with this. I'm gonna go with my gut. I've got Zack Sabre Jr. beating Kenta.
I'll join you on that.
I don't know what instinct that's coming from, but I've got Sabre beating Kenta. Yeah.
Tanahashi Robinson?
Oh, damn. That's going to be a nice little piece of business there because weren't they tag champs?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it was Tana and Ibushi recently, but before that, it was Tana and Robinson. I'll stick to it. I think Juice goes over.
Juice?
Yeah, I think Juice goes over.
Bringing up the younger talent.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
I'll join you on that one.
Naito's beating Goto. That's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
All right.
Night 7, A block. Ishii versus Takagi, bro.
Who do you got?
Ishii.
You got Ishii?
I got Ishii this time. Takagi won the last time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got Ishii.
I actually go against you on that one.
What?
I got Takagi.
That's your funeral.
Yeah.
I've got Osprey over Jay White.
Same.
What else?
Okada Taichi. That's a story right there.
I've got Taichi.
Same here.
I've got
Ishii.
I've got
Ibushi,
Yujiro beating Suzuki.
Tokyo Pin.
He that's another guy. This is not a tournament catered to me.
That is true.
So even the heavy hitters got to lose once or twice, unexpectedly. So
I got
Yujiro
Suzuki
losing.
on that one.
Okay.
Ibushi Cobb?
Whew. Man, I'd have to go with Ibushi. That's a pick 'em, bro. I wouldn't be mad at either one of them. But for point's sake, I think I'm going Ibushi.
I got Cobb.
I can't argue that, man. I'm in your house. I can argue that too. Night 8.
Naito Sanada.
Oh, Sonata.
You got Sanada?
I've got Sonata over Naito.
And I agree with you on that one.
I've got that's a solid night because you got two interpromotionals. You got Sonata and Naito from Ingobernables, and then the battle of who's the bigger dick in Bullet Club, Kenta and Evil. Shit. Kenta.
Yeah, Kenta.
Build the story between the dissension of the group. I'd have Kenta beating the former champ.
I got Evil.
Okay. Shingo's beating Yujiro. Hands down.
Yeah, same here.
A cowardly heel Jay White will lose to Cobb. I've got Cobb winning.
You got Cobb?
Yeah.
I got White.
You think so?
Yeah.
Tanahashi over Yoshihashi.
You got Tanahashi?
Yeah.
I got Yoshi.
You got Yoshi.
I got Yoshi.
Where's that from? Where's your belief that Yoshi's beating Tana?
In the sense of the way that, just like you were making that argument earlier, of there's got to be some people knocking down big hitters.
Got you. All right. Oh man, now we're plowing through. Woo, fuck me, Wrestle Kingdom rematch, Osprey, Ibushi, bam, 10 right off the bat. Ibushi needs that comeback because Osprey beat him at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
I've got Ibushi.
And I got Ibushi on this one too.
Taichi's losing to Ishii. I got Ishii winning.
I got Taichi winning that one.
I've got Suzuki beating Okada.
They had that match when Suzuki completed his 30 years in the business.
Yeah, that was the Omega one. That was the year that Omega and Okada 3 happened in the last night of the G1, and both of them got eaten alive by fucking Suzuki.
Yeah.
I think Omega lost and Okada went to a draw or something like that. But they both fought Suzuki in that block that year. Yeah, I've got Suzuki beating Okada handily.
I'll join you on that one.
I'm not happy with the pick, but I've got Jay White over Jeff Cobb. Former heavyweight champ, former intercontinental champ. He's not going to be losing to everyone, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him. My inner Abels is conflicting with me right now. And Shingo's defeating Yujiro.
Oh, yeah. I'm going Shingo on this one. Majority of the way.
Yeah.
And I got Cobb on White.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't hate that. Night 10. B block.
That's that match you wanted. Tanahashi Kenta.
Yeah. That's the first one I'm looking at too. The way that you had the respect factor with Okada and Shibata, where Shibata and Okada were in the ring, and then Okada was crying afterwards because Shibata couldn't get a title match at that pay-per-view that Okada won his title rematch. I could kind of see the same kind of respect factor with Shibata and Tanahashi. I I have Tanahashi beating Kenta, but I think that's going to be a sleeper match that we're not going to see coming.
Last year's G1, I think we saw this match because they built it up in the aspect of Tanahashi being the New Japan guy and Kenta was the Dragon Gate guy.
But this year is a different circumstance because
Yeah.
Kenta's all in Bullet Club now, and Tanahashi is more on the way out, kind of, because there's more than one person trying to test his longevity as far as his career goes.
Mhm.
So I think the story's going to weigh a lot heavier this time than it did last year when it was just Kenta the outsider, not Kenta the Bullet Club guy.
Yep.
Naito over Yoshihashi.
Yeah. Although for me, yeah, I agree with you on that one.
The Juice against Evil.
I have the Juice winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sleeper match for me. Of being that's going to be a win out of that people weren't expecting.
I'll go with that. Okay. Robinson over Evil, huh?
Yep.
I can never, ever get tired of Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
I can easily say I don't care who wins as a person sitting down on the couch watching wrestling, but for the purpose of this episode, I'll pick Sonata.
You got Sonata?
Yeah.
I'm going to go opposite on you on that one.
You go Sabre, huh?
Yeah, I go Sabre. Goro Yano.
Goto's winning this one. We've given Yano a couple of Grand Slams, unexpected Grand Slams on this card so far, so he's going to start eating some L's. And I've got Goto feeding him his first one.
I join in that one. Goto.
Night 11.
Read the first one.
Takagi against Ibushi. 11. Fuck. Takagi.
You got Takagi?
Takagi. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going
You double
Takagi
dip?
on there. Yep.
Let's go on the other end. This is going to be probably the match where if there's one moment where somebody can get my attention, it's Yujiro beating Ishii. I've got Yujiro beating Ishii. You got to remember, by now, this is the 10th night, 11th night of the tournament, so this would have been
Injuries.
they've already had 5 matches. You've got some wear and tear on you. So some of the people that you think would be your heavy hitters, they're going to be eaten up by time.
I'll join you on that
so
one.
I've got Yujiro going over on that. And on that boat, I've got Okada squeaking one out over Cobb. Longevity factor. Cobb hasn't been in many G1s. Okada's pretty much made his career in G1.
I'll join in that one too. Tai Chi White.
I was going to save that for later. Look at Ospreay and Suzuki. Woo! Shit. Suzuki's a heavy hitter, but he's not a big bitch. He's not Ishii. He's not Cobb. I've got Ishii over. I've got Ishii going over.
No, it's Suzuki.
I mean Suzuki.
Ospreay.
I've got Suzuki going over on Ospreay.
I got Ospreay on this one.
You think that solidifies him as a heavyweight guy?
Yeah.
If you could survive Suzuki, you're made.
Yeah.
I got White over Tai Chi.
You got White.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna have to give Tai Chi a couple more wins. I don't know where in this tournament I'm gonna.
I got Tai Chi on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna be one of those sleeper participants with the surprise wins.
Yeah. Night 12. What stands out for you? There's one. There's at least one.
It's probably the same one for you, but Sonata Kenta.
Oh. I've got Kenta.
You got Kenta?
Yeah.
I got Sonata.
Damn.
Wait,
Do you have Sonata going over everyone in the Bullet Club?
Wait, I had put Evil on that one. Yeah, and here's why. Because on was it night 8? You have Kenta and Evil. I have Evil winning. So, story wise, for me is you have that going in. Evil comes out the victor. prove something. And Sonata was Evil's tag team partner for the longest.
yeah.
And then for
So
this
Evil
night,
can beat everyone in the Bullet Club, but he can't beat his former partner.
yeah, Kenta can beat everybody in there, but not yeah. And Sonata is like, Kenta's trying to make a point. Sonata beats him too. He's like, yeah, you can't.
Naito over Juice. That was a hard call, but I got Naito over Juice. You got Juice?
I got Robinson.
Wow.
Yeah, I got Robinson.
I've got Evil over Tanahashi. I don't know where that's coming from. I just have a feeling in my gut. It might be the seltzer because that's the first time I've had seltzer ever. But I think I've got.
I'll join you on that one.
All right.
Yano, Zack Sabre Jr.
I don't know where this is coming from. You told me. You and I were in the kitchen talking with the missus, and you told me that the seltzers are going to sneak up on you when you're not expecting it. It's the alcohol talking. I got Yano going over Sabre.
You got Yano?
Yeah, this might be the most wins Yano gets in a G1 ever. So I think he's already got, 2 knockouts or 3 knockouts so far?
Yeah. I'm going.
I've got Yoshihashi over Goto just because I want to give Yoshi the benefit of the doubt.
And I'll join you on that one.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. We're at night 13 in this hole already. By now, Abe will be flustered. He'd need another Blue Chew, another bottle of water.
Zoned out.
13. I'm going to throw it out there. Again, I don't know how much of this is me behind the wheel or it's the booze. I got Takagi over Okada.
You got Tiger? Yeah, I'll join you on that one. Dude.
I've got Takagi over Okada. Oof. I have Suzuki over Ibushi.
You have Suzuki over Ibushi?
Yeah.
And for me, I'll join you on that one. Reluctantly.
Damn, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to go back on what I said earlier. Fatigue. I've got Ishii and Cobb drawing.
You got a draw there?
Yeah. As much as I want to be the guy to be the first one to rub it in and say, hey, I told you there wasn't going to be a fucking draw this year. I think there's at least one draw every fucking year.
Yep.
And I'm looking at 2 tanks that are going to just run out of tread before they can do any significant damage to anyone else. I've got a draw for Ishii and Cobb. I honestly, out of those 2, that's like Ken and Ryu for me. I can't, it's almost the same shit. I can't pick one over the other.
I got Cobb.
You got Cobb?
I got Cobb.
Where's that coming from?
He's young. Ishii's old.
Got you. Yujiro over White. Again, that's just a feeling in my gut. White can't win them all.
And that's inner Bullet Club match right there.
Yeah.
I think I'll join in that one. Osprey, Taichi. I'll tell you this one. I got Taichi winning this one.
You know what? Again, going through how many matches they will have had by the time this match comes up on the bracket, this might be the one where Osprey lets his guard down. I'm gonna join you on that. I got Taichi also. Ooh, all right. Night 14. Match number 3 between Tetsuya Naito and Evil. The rubber match.
Yep.
Non-title, so it's easy to give it to Evil. So I'm giving it to Evil.
And I'll join you on that.
Yeah. Something's compelling me to pick Yoshihashi over Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know what it is, but I've got Yoshi over Sabre.
I'll join you on that one too. By this time,
yeah.
Because at the end, Yoshihashi's not really one of those sporadic athletes. Mm-hmm. He's more of the ground base, and by that
he'll complement Sabre. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure how the rest of this tournament's gonna work out because there's gonna be a fucking funeral. Kenta's killing Yano. That's it. Done. So Kenta's killing Yano.
I got Yano.
What the fuck? It's the Michelada, ain't it?
Yeah, that, and just because, okay,
wow.
When it came, just like you said, last year's G1, that win that Yano got against
Mox.
Moxley. Because
That
honestly,
made my tournament.
because
bro.
you
Out of
put that
nowhere.
you put that on the paper and you're like, yeah, Moxley's gonna kill him.
Yano had fucking money inside the DVD, y'all, and Moxley didn't take it, and Yano still beat him. That's like Santino winning the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
Like you don't see it, but it could work. Fuck it. Yeah. Okay, I can't fight that. Robinson and Sonato be fun as shit. As much as I want to give Robinson the rub here, I'm picking Sonato.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got Sonata.
This year just might not be Robinson's year. I'll go one step further. I'll throw a bone for Goto. I've got Goto over Tanahashi.
I'll join you in that one too.
Like you can only be the ace for so long, and you're already in fucking night 14. That's the seventh match. You have to be low on fumes. So I'm giving Goto the rub there. Night 15. Fuck 15. Now I'm feeling like Abel for real. Let's keep the weird shit going. I got Ishii over
Okada.
over Okada.
I'll join you in that one.
Has Ishii ever beaten Okada?
No.
He's due.
He's due on this one because their matches have actually been really fun. All the hard hitting stuff.
Yeah.
But at the
I'm sure they toned it down a bit after fucking Shibata headbutted his career away on Okada in that fucking post Wrestle Kingdom match.
Yep.
But they can still, yeah. I've got Ishii. You got Ishii too, huh?
Yep, I got Ishii too.
White is not surviving Suzuki. I've got Suzuki winning.
I'll join you in that one too. Because not even what's his manager's name?
Taichi?
No, White.
Oh! Okada's old manager.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another one that's on the tip of my tongue. Gato.
Gato's afraid of fucking Suzuki. Yeah.
He sees him in his nightmares. And so at one point, so did I. Taichi is not surviving Takagi.
Yep.
Takagi's winning that. Yujiro is not surviving Ibushi. The last couple of nights is where the people that you want to win, they're getting wins. So I've got Suzuki winning. I've got Takagi winning. I got Ibushi winning. Sorry, Jeffrey. I got Ospreay winning.
You got Ospreay?
Yeah.
And that's a rematch from the Supercard.
Yeah.
Cobb won that one, right?
Yeah. That was when television title for Ring of Honor and Never Openweight were both on the line. Each had one. Cobb beat Ospreay. He took the Never title.
I'll go against you on that one.
You got Cobb, huh?
Cobb.
Night 16. I got Sonata over Tanahashi.
Yeah, I'll join you on that one.
I got Evil over Goto.
Evil over Goto.
Yeah.
I'll go against you on that. I got Goto.
Naito's beating Yano. Yeah. Remember, at this point, this is the ghost of Yano finishing this fucking tournament. The fucking hologram of Yano.
Hey,
It's New Japan. They got holograms by now.
But you know that's gonna be one of those comedy matches because fucking Naito has some.
Naito's
comedy
gonna be
chops on
tired
him
as
too.
yeah. Naito's gonna be tired as fuck, and he can bounce off of the comedy stick.
Because I still remember one of his moments is whenever they, you know, fucking Naito's thing. Wrestle Kingdom stuff. He's always dressed up sharp.
Yeah.
Waist takes his time. There's always a gif from Naito when he has the Intercontinental title and he's just tippy-toeing into the ring. I'm like, yeah, I would see that showing up against Yano. So
I got Sabre over Robinson, and I got Kenta over Yoshihashi.
I got Robinson,
Yo,
and I'll join you with Kenta.
got you. Oh, night 17. We passed a couple of nights earlier. Night 15, I was stoked for everything on the card. Night 17, I'm stoked about fucking everything on this card. I've got Suzuki surviving Goto.
I got Goto on that one.
Really?
That's gonna be one of those upsets.
Whoa. You wanna upset? I've got White going over Ishii.
And for me, I'll join you with that one too. Because I think White has already beaten Ishii. it was due to shenanigans. But
Yeah.
by that time, yeah, you're gonna need shenanigans.
Osprey over man. I can't do it to him. Okada has. I don't think I've given a lot of wins to Okada so far. I've got Okada over Osprey. Osprey makes it till almost the last night, but we haven't been keeping track of points for every fucking day.
Yeah.
So we don't know what these points look like. We're just going off what we feel.
I got
Cobb-
Osprey.
I've got Cobb winning, and I've got Ibushi winning over Taichi.
I got Cobb. I joined you on Cobb.
Don't tell me you got Taichi.
I got Taichi on that.
What the duck? You're breaking hearts this year, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck
Hey.
me.
It's 2020. It's been a weird ass year already.
Oh
so.
yeah, yeah. So Gato's winning the whole thing, huh? Night 18. I want all of it. I want all of it.
Ooh,
Give me
man.
Sonata over Evil. Give me Kenta over Naito. Give me Yano over Yoshihashi. The hologram somehow still gets a pinfall out of this. Give me the Juice over Goto. And give me Sabre over Tanahashi. I don't know what it is this year that I gave Tanahashi 0 to no love, even though I bust my nut over us talking about the main event last year at night 1 in Dallas. But this is the year that Tanahashi is going to start putting other people over.
I got Sonata. I joined in Sonata.
What about the top one? You have Sabre or Tanahashi?
I actually have Sabre.
Okay,
On
so
that
we're 2
one.
for 2 so far. Kenta and Naito.
I got Kenta because Kenta couldn't beat Naito for the titles.
Got you.
I got Yoshi.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's yeah. Yano and Yoshi. That's a pick 'em.
Yeah. And I got the upset with Goto going against Robinson.
Ooh. So there's 2 options that we could do here. We could either crunch the numbers now, or I can give you this for homework, and we can go over this when the tournament's over and see who we got. Because right now, my picks might not align with the math. Your picks with your gut might not align with what we chose on here. So we could save this for later.
We'll save it for later because I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do a night for
Yeah.
G1 finals.
Yeah. As of right now, under my notes, these are the 3 options that I have for finals. I have Osprey versus Sonata. I have Ibushi versus Sonata. Or I have Osprey against Naito.
And that's on the finals?
Those are my finals. I have Osprey or Ibushi winning the A block, and I have Sonata or Naito winning the B block.
I gotta remember which ones I sent you.
Because originally, when I first saw before the matches, when I just saw the names on the blocks, the people in the tournament, I could see Evil going undefeated, but losing to Sonata in the brackets.
I think what I sent you, it was surprising for you. For the A block, I had for the finals, Jay White, Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
B block, I had Evil and Sonata
Oh,
matching up again.
oh.
And the winners for A block and B block was going to be Jay White and Evil.
Now that's interesting because we've never really had 2 heels in the main event of the G1, have we? You think that'll fly now?
It is a crazy year.
Because it's always been. That's weird. I think that's what threw me off is that New Japan slowly, but there've been little droplets here and there. New Japan slowly easing into the sports entertainment aspect that the Americans do.
Mm-hmm.
That is not something the Americans do. As a matter of fact, it sounds like that's not something that New Japan has done. And there's no way in hell that you're going to turn Jay White because he's an asshole. You've got a month to maybe reconcile with Evil and Naito, maybe, and bring Evil back to the fan favorite. Because Evil was the last 2 years. Evil had been creeping up with help from Sonata in the tag org. He'd been creeping up to babyface levels. So for them to turn Evil when they did and put him with the fucking Bullet Club with Kenta and Jay, 2 guys that fans were shitting on, that
legit shitting on Jay for being Jay and Kenta for like shitting on Shibata. He hasn't been there that long. I mean, if the test didn't work and they shun Knight and and Kenta and Jay White both shun Evil, could probably turn Evil tweener, could maybe possibly going back to Baby.
Honestly,
if you're keeping that final that you have,
I'm gonna
because
keep,
that's an odd final to have.
I'm gonna keep that, and I'm gonna say they are gonna turn Evil,
I'm gonna put him back
but not with Lij.
on his own.
Yeah, because he already has his manager,
Yeah,
the one that's helping him out already, and that's what Dick Togo.
Dick Togo. Yeah, Dick Togo.
And you have that brotherhood kind of thing with Sonata. So if anything, I have Sonata leaving Lij, joining up with Evil.
Just as renegades, just on
Yeah.
their own.
Can you imagine if at that match, going back to the conversation we had at the beginning of the show, when you asked me, did they pull the trigger too soon instead of the night before the night on? Think about that. The night on, you have Bullet Club sign, and then he just switches it up.
Oh, yeah. That could be good. That could be really good.
So yeah, I have that as my final.
Man, I can't wait, man. I'm gonna be trimming a lot of fat in my television schedule in the next month to try to catch as much G1 Climax as I fucking possibly can. And that starts this Saturday. So Saturday night their time, which means Saturday morning. So we wake up Saturday with some Fruit Loops and goddamn wrestling in the morning, just like old times say, and Sunday. Oh man, I'm fucking ready. It's too bad. I'm not sure. Maybe because they hadn't really announced the locations for G1 before the COVID. So had COVID not happened, you think we would have had G1 matches here in the States again, or was Dallas a fail because of the lack of audience?
I think they would have had it here, but they had to put it into like wrestling areas.
So LA's easy. You got the dojo there.
Yeah.
You've already had events in Long Beach, sellouts or close to sellouts. Assuming COVID wasn't around, you'd had Japanese audiences fly over to G1. I don't know if you were there last year, but there was a lot of Japanese in attendance for night one of G1 in Dallas. So if you have it somewhere in the West Coast, Los Angeles, San Francisco, you can get audience to go over there.
Well, just looking at both night one and night two, the cards were built for US.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I honestly, with the whole COVID thing, that kind of ruined kind of the plans to come over here.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch because they had Wrestle Dynasty, and that could have actually built up some shit for the G1, and that would have been in front of an American audience. And if because they were pushing the on sale date for weeks until they wound up canceling the show because I was on it. I made it clear when we had that last podcast you were on that I was gonna go to that fucking show because I would have rather gone to that and any excuse to go to New York. Y'all are finding finding out that the hard way. Any excuse to go to New York is worth it. You know, I would have gone just for the experience, let alone whatever matches they would have gave us. So if those sales would have been just as good, hell, they might have had night one in New York. They could have come back. They could have done because they had 3 sold out shows in New York, Philly, and Massachusetts, Boston. They had 3 sellout shows when they did that little tour.
Yeah.
So they could easily have done some G1 matches over here in the States. But regardless, maybe they'll do it next year. Who knows what the scene's like with COVID and everything? Because you have an extra 3 months. Because again, with the Olympics being pushed back to 21, you're not going to have G1 going head to head with that. So if you got another year, maybe shit dies down. Maybe you get a vaccine. Maybe something else happens, and we can have some of the G1 nights over there. I would probably travel anywhere in the country
if there's G1 next year here in the States again.
I would join you on that.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, yeah, think about it. This being 2020 has been a weird year already, and all the new free agents that have been coming out, they've been working those type of deals that
They're not tied down.
they're not tied
People
down
at
to one
Impact
place.
aren't tied down. There's some people in AEW that aren't tied down.
NWA, as we saw this past week,
Yeah.
same thing.
And that's another match on the list I'm hoping to watch this week. Nick Aldis is defending the NWA title against Mike Kanellis. Well, Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett.
But the promo, the 10 pounds of gold promo that they had with him fighting his addictions and going through the pandemic, and the whole thing going on with Nick Aldis and then his wife going right back to WWE and how that's affecting him. They've got me sold on that match too. So there's plenty of room to team up to eat from eat all kinds of plates on the buffet instead of just going to one fast food place that's like the highest chain in the world or whatever. So hopefully that this time next year there could be a lot of surprises in this tournament, especially for the old timers. Like I like Ishii, he's cool. Suzuki, I got a hard on for him. Obviously Okada and Tanahashi. If you replace two of those guys with Miro or Moxley again.
Honestly, Miro, I would love seeing those matches.
Nick Aldis, if he's been NWA heavyweight champion for a fucking decade now. That's what it feels like.
Well, he's the one that's bringing it back to Main Street.
You want to bring NWA? It won't be the first time that the NWA belt's been wrestled in Japan. You know.
No, you've had a NWA product be in New Japan for all these years, which is
Flair.
No,
back in the day with Inoki, and then with Liger.
No, I mean like talent wise.
Oh, talent wise.
They still have one person there, and that's the one from Bullet Club.
That's right.
Crown Jewel.
Yeah. We still have him too. So next year could be the landscape could be a whole lot different next year when we're looking at this bracket. Man, this bracket's gonna be fun as shit. I can't wait for this tournament, man. I'm gonna try to keep up with the weekly show because they've got some good stuff on the weekly show. Darren Young debuted last episode. ACH popped up a couple weeks ago in a 6-man tag. Dude, Brody King's first match in that opening tournament when the show started. I hadn't seen a lot of Brody King. I had only seen G1 Supercard, maybe a tag match or two, but Brody's as a singles, he didn't even have to lose any weight. Just him, the way he looks, there's an aura around him that if Japan needs fans in the American audience, you can do something with Brody.
He was doing some tours in New Japan alongside Marty.
Yeah. Dude, imagine the presentation of PCO in front of the Japanese crowd. They would eat that shit up with a silver spoon.
Would you mind seeing that Suzuki against him?
Oh, that match will never end. That match will never end, bro. They'll be carried out together and still chopping each other. That's the center of pay-per-view just around there. Is that it? Are we calling it a show? Fuck it. We'll end it on a high note. 30 years of G1. You've been watching it a lot longer than I have. Is there anything that stands out in the last 30 years?
In this last decade, I think the one match I can't forget about is that Omega Naito match.
Omega Naito, huh?
From a couple of years ago. The story behind that was actually pretty good. Before that, going back, I've actually gone back and watched Carl Anderson's run. That was actually pretty interesting. When
that final that he lost to Prince Devitt, huh?
Yes. Which one's the other? Prince Albert. Seeing his run in the beginning years of it.
Giant Bernard.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made him a fucking beast. I'm surprised they didn't give him a run with the belt.
And they gave him a trial before the G1, which was what's it called? The New Japan Cup.
Yeah.
Which he actually won. So going back every now and then it just curiosity hits and I just jump back and forth.
As far as curiosity goes, I didn't know this. Again, I'm not that fluent in the New Japan as I could be. Now that I have the network, I want to go back, even if it's in Japanese. I had no idea Shelton Benjamin had a run in the G1 before.
dude. One, him being in Suzuki's group,
Yeah.
man, he had a good run. I think if I remember right, he won a 6-man title with Michinoku and somebody else. But he had some really good wrestling aspects there.
Yeah. Benjamin stuff. Man, I can't talk G1 without Omega Okada 3. Fuck me, dude. That's one of the matches where if I'm bringing if there's a person in my life that's an outsider or a casual to pro wrestling, and I want to dip their feet into like not the deep end but not the shallow end either, like somewhere in the middle where they can stand up and still be above water, I'm definitely showing them part 3 because the commentary in the first 5 minutes before the bell even rings fills you in on everything you need to know before that match starts. And once that match starts, it's fucking starts because they've already had 2 matches against each other.
By that time, they're already hitting their finishers right there, trying to hit it.
Dude, that's a fucking Rembrandt painting come to life.
Dude, even going back and watching, not given he never got a real kind of push to go to the finals, but any of Shibata's matches in the G1s.
Oh, dude.
I remember seeing the Ishii one against him. That did it like slap fight. That was it.
I'll put that on the list too. The other thing I mentioned it in the beginning, we talked about it earlier in the beginning of the show. That first night in Dallas, dude. I've had it on my list for the past 3 years that I've been wanting to go to a Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo. I've rolling over weeks of vacation for the last 3 years purposely so I can have plenty of time to go out there. But to be in Dallas for that first night in the United States for the G1 tournament and sneaking down to the 3rd row on the floor for Okada Tanahashi, which is like the equivalent of Austin Rock.
Yeah.
You know, nothing can replace that. You know, and I was there with my bros, Scott and Travis. You know, got Travis out of the house for a road trip. You know, there's a lot of other variables that tie into it.
What did Travis think about that match?
Man, his mind was fucking blown, dude.
Because I know he's like, if there's no story behind it, there's no shit for me to actually look
Dude, as soon as the bell rang and everyone gave a standing ovation because they knew what they had in front of them, you see his eyes starting to open wider. And that just sucked into it, dude. It's just fucking bananas, dude. I'm ready, man. This is gonna be a fucking banger. I'm ready for the surprises. I'm ready for the disappointments, and hopefully the finish comes out somehow as close as I would want it to be.
Man, it's gonna be fun trying to figure out if we got
it right.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a month.
True.
So no pressure. You have a month. I expect it to be done by tomorrow. Bro, thanks for having me over. I've been wanting you back on the show for a while, and if this is what it took, fuck it, man. I'm always down for a drive. We'll definitely have to get you on the finals or or a post show to wrap up the G1 stuff, and we'll go from there, man.
Yeah,
that's the show. Break the 4th wall real quick since you were in the conversation with us. We'll tell the people that are watching because we actually had quite a lot of people watching tonight. For New Japan, which does surprise me. Whenever we talk New Japan, we get people that stick around for the whole fucking thing. Abel was supposed to come back. He's been chomping at the bit. He's apparently he's over the COVID, and he wanted to come back. And after my apprehension, because he still hasn't gotten a positive test, I was gonna bite the bullet, and we were gonna figure something out to record at my place. But then I remembered how knowledgeable or lack thereof he was in last year's G1 episode. If you were the Chris and I was the Abel, I did not want him to be the Arnold and just like fade away into obscurity. So he took the night off. But I'm about 90% sure that when we get together for the preview episode of Night of Champions at the brewery, it'll be Scott and I and the return of Old Man Abel. And so that's going to be interesting. But you'll see us then. So that'll be in about 2 weeks, a couple of weeks. So we'll be back for that. Until then, adios, my friends. Keep it classy.
All right, I'm Chris, right?
Thank you for that. Thank you.